How do the Amish celebrate Easter? So, first of all, it's worth mentioning that not all Amish will observe holidays in the same way. There are over 600 Amish communities, so you'll find variations in Easter, like with other Amish holidays. You also see this when it comes to more obscure holidays, like Ascension Day or St. Michael's Day, which are celebrated in some Amish communities, but in others they're not. Easter, of course, is a major holiday. With the Amish, observance will generally go from Good Friday through Easter Sunday. In some communities, they observe Easter Monday as well. I'm going to share with you 3 examples from communities in Ohio, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, showing how the Amish celebrate Easter. There's some differences, but also a lot of similarities. Generally, it will involve fasting, prayer, and visiting with family. Food, of course. Eggs are a part of Amish Easter. Interestingly, not all Amish will necessarily attend church on a given Easter Sunday, and I'll explain that in a minute. So this first example is from the community in Holmes County, Ohio. This is from an article at the Amish Heartland website, where they spoke to a local Amishman about his community's customs. Of course, there are many different churches and groups, even in that diverse community, so you have to keep that in mind as well. But they spoke with a man named Atlee Miller from the article. The Easter season is one filled with sober reflection and joyous celebration for the Amish community. The season begins on Good Friday, the day that Christ was crucified, with a fast in the morning. Amish community members believe in fasting for sober holidays because it reflects the sacred day, said Atlee Miller of the Berlin Amish and Mennonite Heritage Center. From Saturday until Monday, family and friends visit each other and socialize. The days are usually capped off with a big meal, but it is not as big of a feast as Christmas or Thanksgiving, Miller said. Children color and hide eggs, and eggs are eaten at the Easter table as they symbolize rebirth, Miller explained. So there you have a little snippet from the community in Ohio. Let's take a look at another community. This one's in southern Michigan. This would be an excerpt from a column by Amish mother Lavina Eicher, and she is the author of the Amish Kitchen column. Here's Lavina writing. Friday is Good Friday, and we look forward to Easter on Sunday. Good Friday we traditionally keep as a holiday, so no one in our family will go to work or school. Just a note from myself, this, like a lot of Amish holidays, that means businesses in Amish communities are often closed on some of these holidays. For example, Ascension Day is another example where, in some communities at least, Amish businesses will be closed. Back to the column by Lavina Eicher. The Amish churches in this community have fast, no eating, and prayer until noon. Our family will all be here and have family time. Then we'll gather here for the noon meal. On Easter Sunday, we will go to church. Easter is the time to rejoice and be thankful for the gift of life Jesus gave for someone like you and me. The younger children still enjoy coloring eggs for Easter. As I was growing up, we always colored eggs. The bright colored eggs always remind me of the colors of the rainbow. Our parents taught us the true meaning of Easter. May we all remember the true meaning of Easter. Finally, we have a description from someone who was raised in the Amish community in Somerset County, Pennsylvania. This is actually the second oldest Amish community in the world. This was by a woman named Mary Ann Kinsinger on her Joyful Chaos blog, and she often recounts memories from her Amish upbringing. So this is what she said about Easter in Somerset County, Pennsylvania. On Friday morning, we would get up, do whatever chores that needed to be done. Cows and other animals have this way of needing to be cared for no matter what else is going on. True. After chores were done, we would wash up and then sit in the living room. Since Good Friday was a day of fasting, it was more sober and solemn than a normal Sunday. We would read the Bible and the prayers in the little black prayer book in the German Rules of a Godly Life book. There was no playing and any talking was done in hushed tones. It was always a relief once the day was over. The next day always seemed to carry some of the previous day's solemnness with it, as we hurried to do all the regular Saturday cleaning and preparing lots of food for the next 2 days so we wouldn't have to cook much. Easter Sundays we would treat like any other Sunday, except Mom would make soft-boiled eggs for breakfast. Thankfully, that was a once-a-year occurrence. I guess Marianne's not too big a fan of soft-boiled eggs. Back to the blog post. If it was our church Sunday, we would go to church. Otherwise, we would stay at home and read, play games, write letters, and things along that line. So that's what I was referencing earlier. The Amish hold church every 2 weeks, so they're not going to church every week with their church district. They may visit other churches on the so-called off Sunday. Often they'll stay at home and have prayer, devotions. They'll be visiting on that day, well, like on a church Sunday as well. So the point there is that if Easter Sunday happens to fall on that church district's church Sunday, then yes, they would go to church. But if not, then they're not necessarily going to go to church. They may go visit, a relative's church service, or maybe the neighboring church district that is having church. And again, things vary across communities, so there may be even some different ways of doing that as well. Perhaps there are some churches that will have church on Easter Sunday no matter what. Finally, Easter Monday is also observed in some Amish communities. Basically be another day off, maybe another day of visiting, spending time with family. So that's another thing to keep in mind if you're visiting an Amish community and they're celebrating Easter Monday, then you may have all the businesses closed on that day as well. So I hope that gave you a good perspective or a cross-section of how Amish in some communities celebrate Easter. You see a lot of consistent things with the visiting, prayer, fasting, but of course there are some variations there as well. So happy Easter to those of you observing the day and the season. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.